This is a reading of Brenda's blog titled, Allow Them to Bloom. Dear one, your need to be surrounded by love is becoming stronger daily. Not because you're necessarily lonely, but instead that your love needs have expanded, as has your new dimensional status. Love is the predominant sensation of your new being, including expressing, sharing, and receiving it. But the receiving part is becoming more uncomfortable daily. For many of those once expected in 3D to display their love for you, even on a limited basis, are currently unable to, for they are in the midst of their transition. Most of you are with beings who have started their transition, but have not completed the same phases as you. So you expect joy and love to be shared with your significant others, friends, or relatives, only to discover they do not yet have the depth to do so. It is similar to intuitively knowing that you are going to marry another, even though you're 20 years old and they are 10. The 10-year-old will need to mature before that romantic love can be returned or consummated. Such as not to say you are alone, as much as, once again, you are at the forefront, which is not always a pleasant place. Those in the following waves are adapting and shifting much faster than was true for you. Even so, this short period of time may feel quite lonely. You approach those with whom you expect to share love only to discover their minds and hearts are elsewhere, clearing issues they need to clear before they can join you. Does that mean you should ignore or deny interactions with that special person? Not necessarily. Again, patience is required. When we first informed you that those in the following waves would complete their phases more rapidly than you were pleased, but not necessarily bothered because you didn't think those following would impact your life. As you now know, such is not true. Everyone is linked to one another through avenues you have not yet acknowledged. For as you claim your segments in new ways, including featuring your future segments as you are now likely doing, so too are your interactions with others changing. You have difficulties acknowledging that you are also changing. So even if your love focus were to remain the same, you would be so different as to necessitate him or her to shift their interactions with you. You are a different person than was true weeks or months ago. The same is true for those you label significant people in your life. For if they were not significant, you would not be interested in maintaining contact. So it is that everyone is different. Perhaps an easier way to view this thought is to imagine a field of flowers. Before pushing through the ground, the seeds look somewhat similar. But once the flowers bloom, the field is filled with different varieties and colors, all of which blend in a way different than was true before they bloomed. So it is for you. Everyone is different than they were in 3D. But not everyone is blooming at the same time, in the same way, or with the same look. Allow that to be, knowing that each bloom, each person is adding color and vibrancy to the totality. Those you once depended on to display their feelings for you in a certain way no longer are that person. But then neither are you. Both of you have pushed through the soil. Perhaps the person you depend on is in the bud stage and you are blooming. It does not matter. Those in the following waves are catching up in days instead of months. Even though they are ready to bloom, those you care for feel the need to put their efforts into blooming instead of their relationship with you. Their blooming has much to do with their clearing, as was once true for you. Allow them to do so without extending this phase for them by requiring them to interact with you as you wish instead of as they need to. Allow them to bloom without terror and pain that was true for you as you bounced between 3D and beyond. That is not to say doing so will be terrible for them, as much as it will prolong this phase for them. Allow yourself to nurture and love yourself as you wait patiently for the days or few weeks it takes for them to fully awaken, to bloom. You are strong enough to wait. When you and your loved one are once again together fully, he or she will be as strong and independent as you are rapidly becoming. So be it.